Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at some of these coins then, shall we? Having a nice day today, definitely with these the majority of these coins, and I believe that we're going to have a bit more of a better day when it comes to Bitcoin and altcoins for the rest of this week. So let's have a little look into what's been going on. As we can see on this chart, the daily chart we've got here, we're moving quite nicely. Up and away, way above the 200 EMA at this point now, bouncing on the 50 simple. That's where we bounce from here, and we're launching towards the top of the Bollinger Band, where we've just found a bit of a rejection. Not just the top of the Bollinger Band though, we can call it this 242, which is something that once we get above the 242, it's going to be pretty impressive stuff again, because the history of Bitcoin in a bull market, we've never gone down beneath it until just recently. We crashed down beneath it here, we launched straight back up as a bit of a super bounce, you could call it. Because again, this has never happened before. It was pretty bearish, so you can see we had a big pullback and a giant bounce. We came back down beneath it on this occasion here, and we've been beneath it ever since. What we're really looking to do now is to reclaim that 242, and once we've reclaimed that, we're back to supercharged bull mode, I would expect. This has another side to it. So, I mean, a lot of people were expecting a downwards trend because we had a MACD cross, a negative sloped MACD cross. And to be honest with you, yeah, we did have that negative slope, and it kind of pulled back a little bit, but it wasn't too aggressive, was it? But in all fairness, we're getting quite overextended even at this point now. So what I would like to see happen would be excuse me, to reclaim this 242, maybe go for a big move, big fat wick, maybe testing areas like 9,500, coming back down and then sitting down upon this level, bouncing upon this level, which is the 242. Currently that's around 9,000 to 9,150, which is, again, 9,150 is an area of support or resistance at the moment. We'd like to see turn to support. At the moment it's resistance still, because it's more or less coinciding with the 242, within about $100 or so, less than that, about $75. Anyway, Bitcoin's looking pretty strong, but again, we're going to get overextended on the RSI. The MACD is pretty high, so we do need to chill out a bit. So for those who think we're going to be making giant big moves, we might do that, but they will also come back down again. My expectation is to see a move, maybe even as much as another $500 or so, up to 9,500, 9,600, and then be rejected from there, and hopefully be supported upon this level. That would basically allow the RSI to have a big sort of oversold move, and then gradually come down and consolidate for hopefully for the rest of the week, because we'd still be pretty significantly up at that point. But we wouldn't really be able to make giant moves without coming back down again. And we don't want to do giant, huge moves into the 10,000s or so now. We need to relax, we need to chill out, we need all these oscillators and indicators to kind of relax with it. And then we can talk about making those big moves again. So let's have a look at some of these other alts. So Ethereum, my personal favourite, not because it's making giant moves at the moment, because it's really not actually, but it looks like it's likely to shortly. So we did pretty much mimic Bitcoin's moves, and in many ways we underperformed. We bounced here, and that was our biggest move of this year. That from top to bottom, that was a 19, well, we can call it 20% move from top to bottom to top. And then we've basically been relaxing ever since. So let's have a look at the state of some of these RSIs and oscillators. So yeah, again, we don't want to go too crazy at the moment. We're still actually in that negative cross. We've not crossed to the upside yet. So this looks like it wants to make a big move. It's not yet been done. Our previous high is around about 179, call it 180. Once that gets met, then we'll probably be moving out of the Bollinger Band to find a rejection just around about 194, 195, and then again I would expect rejection. But what we really want to see is the same as we see with Bitcoin. We want to see support on the 200 exponential, and now we are above the 200 exponential. We have that opportunity to actually do that. XRP's just decided to make a big pop, which is good, because I'm glad, because again this is another one that I'm not so much invested in, but I've been margin trading on. I did a 4x back down here, so I'm very happy at the moment, and I'm looking to ride this one out, because for those who don't know, and I bang on about it all the time, had another baby, so we've got 2 kids now, 1 baby, 1 2-year-old, and I just don't have the time that I'd like to have trading, or basically barely have enough time to scratch my ass. But you know, I've placed some relatively low leveraged longs, 2, 3, and 4x's. I'm quite happy to do a 4x on something like XRP down at these levels, because I don't believe it's likely to fall back down to lower than 20. But with things like Bitcoin and Ethereum, I did a 2 and a 3x on those guys. And again, usually I would never do more than a 5x. And the thing is, I'm just looking to hold these now for a long period of time, because it looks like the market's about to pick up. So if I go underwater a little bit, that's fine. I don't need to worry, because it's only small leverage. I can sustain temporary losses, because I'm pretty confident at this point that the market's going to pick up quite well over the next few months. 3 months is what I'm giving these longs. I know it's a long time to be holding any long, but 3 months is where I'm going to be holding them to, because I'm pretty sure that my entry points won't be revisited, maybe ever again. So I'll take profit on those in due course. So my personal first target for XRP would be around about 25 cent, but to be honest with you, once 25 cent gets met and broken, which is basically the top of this Bollinger Band at the moment, we need to do exactly what all these other alts are doing, which is break our way above the 200 exponential, which XRP has been under for quite a long time now, and every time we get close to it, we're rejected. We've not been close to it for a while. Only just recently is the first time we've got close to it. MACD still negative, but the RSI has got plenty of room to go, so this could actually make a really big move, and if it does break above 25, we're looking for around about 26 before a rejection, which is basically the 200 exponential. Having that met and rejected from is what I would imagine to see happening. Once that's broken, though, I wouldn't be it wouldn't be too much of a stretch of the imagination to expect it to reach around 29 cent. Anyway, moving on, we go to Chainlink. Chainlink's been making big moves. Obviously, everything's moving with the rest of the market. The thing with Chainlink is that Chainlink never had a death cross on our daily, so technically it's still bullish, and it's been bullish since it broke out from this level. It came close to a death cross a couple of times there, and very close here, but it never actually had it. So realistically, we're looking to revisit some of these highs sooner rather than later. We're talking highs such as basically $3 to start with, and then ultimately $3.7. Once that's taken out, then we will be making new highs, but that won't be for a couple of months, I'd expect. Around about end of February into March, we'll be looking at a lot of these coins doing very, very well, and I think this one's going to do very well. Again, negative cross. This area here needed to relax, and it did do that. So it looks like it wants to have another stab. That stab could bring us up to maybe even as much as $3. That might be a bit too high. Some consolidation would need to be taken after that event. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. Litecoin obviously is going to make big moves with Bitcoin, and it's looking very much the same as Ethereum in the way that it's set up. Above all major moving averages, apart from, well, technically we are above the 200 exponential, being rejected from the 200 simple. That's fine. Again, all these coins are playing out in exactly the same way, looking to revisit their most recent highs, probably at some point this week, unless, of course, the bottom falls out of Bitcoin, which I don't think it's likely to do. But they are going to. There will be a big pullback with Bitcoin, I'm sure. Once it makes that stab up to and above areas like 9,500, 9,600, we probably will have a big pullback, because the RSI at this point is quite high. It can't reach up to those levels without having a pullback. And that will, of course, in turn make all these alts pull back with it. So it'll be interesting to see how the alts hold their value after that. I would expect that they would lose a lot of their value, making Bitcoin dominance gain in value itself. So the alts are going to do well, but you need to be able, if you're looking to trade these alts, you want to try and sell them as close to the top as possible, or generally speaking. But I'm not a financial advisor; it's not financial advice, and my entry points are for long-term longs anyway. So that's not what I'm going to be doing. However, I would have tried to do that if I have the time. At the moment, I don't actually have the time for that kind of thing. Binance coin, again, very much the same as the others. In fact, a little bit worse than most, because it was still under the 200 exponential, being rejected to around about $18.2. So until we break above there, we're not looking for any big moves. But we're breaking above there, we could easily see ourselves getting up to 20. Pullbacks on this one, if the market does fall I'd imagine the centre of the Bollinger Band or the green 50, so it could come down to around about 16.5, or maybe even as low as 16. And finally, OneCoin. We like to look at OneCoin for the guys on my Telegram group. They love OneCoin, and I've got a little bit invested myself just off the back of other people's recommendations. Not really a great deal to do with the chart, but the chart in itself looks very different to all the others. Plenty of room to move on the RSI. A long period of accumulation now into bullish territory. So we are kind of looking for a burst of price action. If we don't get it in the next few days, we're going to be entering this resistance cloud, which could bring us down if we don't have sort of more volume or more interest or basically buying and selling of it. It's not looking great at the moment because I would have expected to have seen a move take place by now. The MACD looks, even though it's in the bullish territory, it's curling over a little bit, which could mean that by the time we hit this resistance cloud, it'll be ready for a negative cross. And if we haven't had a pump by then it would probably come down in value, which would be a real shame to see. Obviously because I hold a little bit of it. But anyway, that's pretty much the roundup. I'm a bit of a rush, obviously. I've got so many things to do, so I'm going to leave it with you there. I hope that had some value to it. Sorry for those who asked me to look at other coins. I pretty much sat down and did this because I've got a spare 5 minutes. I've not remembered what coins it is you wanted me to look at, but I'll try my best. Just keep reminding me, and maybe I'll be able to make a video tonight. If not, maybe tomorrow. I'll try and sneak a video in wherever I can. But at the moment, things are looking pretty good. But everything revolves around Bitcoin, and Bitcoin looks like I say, the rule of the altcoin market depends on it lives in the shadow of Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is about to break above the 242. If it does, then we'll have a big move up towards 9,500, maybe 9,600 and something. I'd be very surprised if we got to 9,700, but either way, any of those numbers we're likely to be rejected from, and then hopefully we'll find our support on this 242, which would be very telling. And maybe I would even close my long at that point and re-enter a new long with my profit, because it would be very, very likely that we'll be revving up at that point to make some decent moves. We've also got a golden cross taking place now, which is very, very, very good news. Golden crosses on the dailies mean something, but we could pull down into it before we launch from it. The fact is, we've got it now. There's no coming back from it. We've got that golden cross. That golden cross should, at this point, now begin to play out. We're above all major moving averages, apart from the 242, which is pretty important to get above on the daily. Weekly, we have got above all major moving averages, and the weekly is looking pretty good. And the monthly, which is due to close shortly, needs just a little higher, a little bit higher. If we can take out this wick here, which is 9,544, then we should be in business at that point. Well, it looks like we're in business already. Plenty of room to move on the RSI on the weekly, by the way. Anyway, on the monthly that would be. Right, so it's looking pretty good. Like I say, a quick roundup. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a nice evening, nice day, and take it easy.